Plaintiff Quntasa Gregory says when her younger sister was robbed on a bus, she loaned her money to get through their family trip. That money was to help her get by, not to fuel the defendant's reckless partying. She's suing for $721. Defendant Kymonii Gregory claims the robbery ruined her trip, and all she wanted to do was go home. But her sister convinced her not to leave, so it's the plaintiff who should pay for her stay.
Your sisters?
Yes.
Quntasa, you are apparently the older sister, and you are suing your younger sister, Kymonii.
I'm here to teach my little sister a lesson.
Yes.
This is my baby sister. I want her to give me my money back.
What happened?
We had a family reunion not too long ago. My little sister didn't get paid when it was time to go, so she asked me if I could pay for her bus ticket. It's a bus where everybody gets on the bus. It's not like it was just us two. It's a bunch of random people. Wherever you going, it's 3 states get on the bus at the same time. So I told her I'll pay for her ticket. She told me...
How much was the ticket?
$60.
$60.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She told me that when we came back from our trip, she'll give me my money back.
Yeah.
The way the bus is set up is 3 slots underneath the bus on the side.
Yeah.
So whatever state you're going to, that's where you put your stuff.
And what state were you going to?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
So that would be the middle slot on the bus.
Okay.
I get on the bus before she did, me and my daughter. We get on the bus and she gets on, but she doesn't have nothing in her hand, like nothing, her pocketbook, nothing. Oh. So I asked her, where'd you pull your stuff? She's like, oh, I put everything on the bottom. Her bag, her suitcase, her duffel bag, everything on the bottom. So I'm like, okay, but why? She was like, because I didn't want to carry anything. It was all cool. Everything was good. We took our little 10, 11 hours and we drove to North Carolina. When we get to the stop to get off, her stuff isn't on the bus, which means during one of the stops before we got to where we was going,
and that's where all her stuff is, including a wallet,
yeah, because she had a little carry-on bag that
Sure.
she put inside of the duffel bag.
What about that?
I did lose my wallet on the bus. I guess my bag looked like somebody else's bag, or we had the same bags.
Yeah.
But none of my stuff was on the bus. I didn't have my bag when I went on the bus because I wasn't buying nothing.
Yeah.
Until I got to North Carolina.
Okay.
I wasn't spending no money until...
But when you arrived, all your stuff is gone.
All my stuff is gone.
Okay.
She basically didn't have no ID, no debit card, no credit card, no cash, nothing. So I asked her, do you want to go back home? Because I would have to pay you $60 again, and you'll still have to give me $60 more.
No, she's lying. Yeah. She never told me
Even
that.
though she doesn't have cash money to spend while we're there for our family reunion.
Right.
So it's either she go back home and owe me $120, or she stay here and figure it out herself.
I was gonna go home. Once I got off the bus and all my stuff was gone, I was leaving. I was mad.
Well,
why am I gonna stay there and I have no money?
Why didn't you go home?
Because I just took
if she's
8
giving...
hour. We just rode from New York to North Carolina. That's 11 hours.
I get it.
Sitting
It's
down.
not fun. Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have to get right back on the same bus to do the same thing all over again, which I was gonna do. And my sister told me not to.
So she's all upset, she's crying, she's on the phone with people. So she asks me, since you pay for my bus, can you pay for me to get clothes and stuff while I'm here, and I'll just give you everything when we get back home?
No.
It's not a problem because she already had a job and she already owed me money.
Yeah.
So I told her, okay, you didn't have a lot of stuff, you're not gonna be here long, it's no problem. So I go and we take her shopping. Me and my daughter, basically. We get her the shoes she got on, we get her the dress she has on, we get her jeans, stuff for the function, everything.
Okay.
She never told me I had to pay her back.
On top of me buying her clothing and stuff for the family reunion, I had to pay for her to go out while we were there. So I had to pay for her to go to Dave & Buster's, to go to laser tag, for her drinking, for her eating, everything. Anything that she did, I paid as her big sister because she just lost all her stuff.
Right. And you want to be paid back.
Right.
You're suing her for $721.
Right.
So big sister came to the rescue. You had no money on you.
You can say that, yes, but as a big sister and I'm the little sister.
I'm not saying she shouldn't have. I'm just saying.
No, I don't feel responsible. I don't feel like I owe her any money at all.
Why?
Because I'm the younger sister. If I don't have a job, and I did have a job, but I lost my job in the course of me being there because they didn't give me more time.
So you're saying the reason you don't want to pay her back is because they're...
It's not that I don't. I don't feel like I'm obligated to.
But she hasn't.
Because she never asked for the money back.
When did all this
Until
take?
after we got back.
When did all this take place?
When we got back, every time I asked her for something, as far as my money coming back to me, it was an excuse. I didn't get my debit card back in the mail yet. My credit card, I'm waiting for it to come. My ID, I don't have car fare to go to the place to get my ID so that I can get what I need. Like, literally, it's an excuse after excuse after excuse. And then on top of it, she stayed longer out there in North Carolina and lost her job. So when we came back to New York, she didn't have no job to look forward to pay me my money back.
Why didn't you say, even though she didn't want to get back on the bus, you know, right away, I can understand that. But why wouldn't you say, since you were paying the money, say, look, you'll stay here for a night, but tomorrow, after you get a good night's sleep or whatever, I'll pay for the $60 for you to get back so you don't lose your job.
She didn't want to go back by herself. Like she said, we just rode the bus together, and then she would have to ride the bus back by herself. She decided she didn't want to go back by herself because we were literally there for the family reunion.
Okay, did your mom give you money?
My mom gave me money, but regarding what she said, I ride the bus all the time by myself. I go places by myself all the time.
So you could have gone back?
By myself, yep, with no hesitation. My mom did give me money, but that was to take care of some business that I had to take care of.
But she was splurging on social media. It's no way.
I wasn't splurging.
Because
I went out with
after
my
I
friends.
asked her about my money and kept asking about my money, I'm like, I have a whole kid to take care of.
What about your mom?
I asked her the last time for my money, and when she told me about the ID situation, I told her she's lying. And I decided to tell my mother. She lives with my mother and father, and I live by myself with my kid. I'm like, Ma, it's either you make her pay my money back or we do something else, because it's no way that it takes weeks for her to pay my money back, and she's the one who spent all this money.
And what did your mom say?
My mom, she's drinking, she's smoking, she's going out partying, she has on new clothes, all of that costs. Where did she get the money from? My mom says she gave her $1,000. For whatever reason she gave her that $1,000, Kymonii could have gave me my money back. But instead, she decided to party.
No, I didn't decide to party with that money. I spent it on
That's what she did. The time frame she got the money, she was partying.
Okay, but you didn't give her money back.
No, because it wasn't a priority at the time. I had other priorities that I had to take care of. Just because I live with my parents, that doesn't mean that I don't have other responsibilities that I have.
I have my own apartment. I have more bills than her. I have a child. I have more responsibility than her. You agreed to verbally pay me my money back?
Never agreed.
You should have did it when my mom gave you the money.
I never did that. She told me
it.
multiple times that I did not have to pay her back, of course, on the trip.
All right.
Well,
you should have gone back because you knew you were going to lose your job. You should have gone back.
They never told me I was going to lose my job until I called them and asked them, and I spoke to them, and then they said,
it's no way you take 3 days off.
We can't give you no more. We can't give you no more extra time. So I said, okay, I'm going to try to come back. And then they said, well, you wasn't approved for the days that you were gone, so just don't.
So you weren't approved for those days?
I was. Well, they just didn't want to give me my time.
Okay.
I had vacation time.
She was supposed to be going 3 days and stayed 7.
Okay.
You never told me to repay. You never spoke about no repayment of any sort of kind. She wants me to repay her for stuff that she spent on her and her daughter too. That's not fair. If you bought me stuff, you can't include that in what you put on for you and your daughter.
My daughter can't drink, my daughter can't smoke, my daughter can't party,
but
my
you
daughter
did
can't
buy
do
your
none
daughter
of that.
clothes,
All
you
of that
did buy
cost.
your daughter certain stuff.
Okay, when I look at what she put out for you, for example, the jeans were for you, the bus ticket was for you, the restaurant was only the partial payment of the bill, so I assume that was your part of the bill. But in any event, you sued for $721, but I see here evidence of $547. If there was a written document where she said, you don't have to pay me back, this is a gift. Let's face it, you lost it. It was an unfortunate mistake, and you lost it. You were in a bind. She comes to bail you out. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $547, and I'm going to make you eat the 37 cents. I'm not going for that.
Don't worry about it.
$547.
Boy, she get whatever she wants. She do whatever she wants. No consequences.
Maybe because I'm just a baby and I'm the youngest sister, they feel like I'm a spoiled brat, but I don't feel like I'm a spoiled brat.
Plaintiff Corey Watson claims the defendant borrowed his car, then proceeded to crash it, abandon it, and text him the address of the junkyard where he could go pick it up. He's furious that she took advantage of his generosity and is suing for $4,360. Defendant Kaitlyn Hussey claims that the plaintiff's car was a hunk of junk that was doomed from the start. Sure, the car kicked the bucket on her watch. She knows she did the right thing when she dropped it off at the junkyard and doesn't owe.
We have Corey here. And Corey, you are suing Kaitlyn because you said she damaged your car.
Yes, sir. I'm her because if the bitch had a brain, she'll be dangerous.
Whoa. What happened?
So
Yes.
I let her borrow my car. that was my first car too. Just got it. Got it. I only had it for 3 weeks too. I was gonna get insured for the next day, and then she wanted to go to a party because her car was in the shop at the time. I was like, yeah, you can take my car. She was like, and she begged me. At first, I wasn't gonna go give it to her. She begged me to take this car to this party. I was like, yeah, sure. You know what? Cool. And she had a handshake agreement for her to, if anything got damaged or anything got like totaled, she'll pay for the whole price. So she takes the car. When I get off work, she tells me that, oh, here's your car. This is where it's at. So I'm confused. Like, I didn't know where the text message came from. She's texting me. She was like, here goes the car. This is where it's at. Here's the location.
When was the text that she told you that here's the car?
It was around like 10, 11 p.m. at night. I have it right here. I said, hey, how's the car driving? It's driving really good. I'll have it back by 2. Is that okay?
Like 2 in the morning?
2 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
I said, that's fine. Drive safe. She goes, I will. I'm only having a few drinks. Around 10 p.m., she goes, this is where your car is, the address and everything else. So I said, what the F? Why is my car there? Hello? Go by her house. No answer, no nothing.
Like, it was rattling. This car was all messed up.
Yeah, we have pictures of the car as well. So what happened?
What happened was I went to the junkyard, and I would think she would have paid for
It was
me.
a junkyard, the address she gave you?
Yeah, the address she gave me was the junkyard. She texted me where the address was. It took me 2 hours, just far away from where I'm at, like 2 hours. Let me tell you, like, that was my first car. I was cleaning horse stables. I was traveling across the country, working at ski resorts, national parks for this car, and she knew that. It was even duct tape on it. It was duct tape on my damn car. I was like, what, she was trying to fix it to drive it back? Like, what was she trying to do?
It wasn't me.
Girl,
I had dropped it off in the condition that it was. I don't know who put duct tape on it.
Why did you drop it off there?
It was worthless at this point. So when I had gotten into this accident because of your faulty brakes.
When did you rear end a car?
I rear-ended the car after I left the party.
Okay, you were driving the car when you went into the rear of somebody.
Yes.
Then what happened?
Once I rear-ended somebody, I looked up the nearest junkyard.
Was there a police report? Did you exchange insurance? What did the person that you rear-ended, what happened to that car?
I mean, their car was a too, so I mean, I assumed they didn't have insurance.
And she's strong.
So you just drove off? After
Yeah.
rear-ending a car, you drove off?
Yeah.
You understand, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, now I do.
I assume at some point when you were going to the party, you had to stop because of a red light, a stop sign. At some point, while you had that car, the brakes were working.
Well,
So you can't now say, well, the reason I rear-ended the guys is because the brakes weren't working, when in fact the brakes were working. Unless you can give to me some proof that the brakes weren't working.
I don't have any proof, but it's just a 20-year-old piece of shit.
Ain't she
You gotta
strong?
stop using the language in the book.
Okay.
If you didn't like the car, you could have said, I'm not going to drive it.
Well, I figured he had the competence to buy a decent car.
Competence.
With no proof, you're saying, oh, it was the brakes and it was a lousy car. Honestly, that's not a defense. So now you rear-ended the car, you said, oh, that's a piece of junk, and you drove it to the nearest junkyard. Why didn't you bring it back to him because it's his car?
At that point, he was like an hour and a half away from me. I wasn't gonna make it to his house.
And then how'd you get home?
I called a cab.
You called a cab?
Yeah.
Did you call him right away?
I texted him the address of where his car was because that's all he needed from me.
You just drop it off and ghost him? Why do you think that's the right thing to do?
I was embarrassed about the situation. Like, I felt bad. But at the end of the day, it wasn't going anywhere after I got it to the junkyard.
Now, you tell me what you want to tell me.
Honor, she had somebody, our mutual friend, tell me some girl named Kelly booked it.
Kelly, what?
Kelly
Kelly.
said
mean
something
Kelly
about
Blue
Kelly.
Book?
Some girl named Kelly Blue had booked my car.
No.
Said something about
I
my
have
car
the
was
evidence
worth
right
something.
here, Your Honor.
Well, time
Kelly
out.
Blue Book is
Time
a
out.
website.
Let's have, Kelly is not a person. Kelly Blue didn't book anything. Kelly Blue Book. That's the name of the book. And that book, they give the value of every kind of car for whatever year based on the mileage and the condition. So if you look up in the Kelly Blue Book, what a 1999 Cherokee Laredo is, which is what your car is, what it was worth, it now is worth, according to the Kelly Blue Book value, the private party value, which means if you would sell it to a private party, just as you bought yours from a private party,
$4,000.
is worth $2,276. That's the median get. That's what the car is today worth. You can shake your head all you want, but that's what the value
But
is.
it's the principle of everything.
I'm not talking about principle. I'm
it's the
telling you what
principle.
your car is worth.
It was nothing worth a nickel and a dime.
But
like,
well, that's going to be determined by the court or the Blue Book. Even the Blue Book value that you put in your evidence tells me that it's worth some money,
Kelly.
right? I'm looking at what you handed me, and it says it was worth $2,276.
and you know what that says to me? He got scammed.
Well, maybe, but that's irrelevant. The value of the car that you says is a piece of junk was at least $2,276, plus the towing fee, which you can't assume he should have to pay for. Now, you are suing her for the value of that car, plus the towing fees. Now, the towing fees were $360. So, on the one hand, you would be worth the value of that car, plus the towing costs, minus, because you sold it to a junkyard for $400. So I'm taking the $400 off of that. What is left is $2,236 that you owe him. So I fine for the plaintiff $2,236.
I've forgiven myself, so I moved on.
You know what she did wrong. The Bible said you reap what you sow, and she's going straight to the pits of hell. She's going straight to the pits of hell. Yes, she is. And I see her there, too.